Today is Motor Mondays. The topic? Offset plates. What does an offset plate do? Well, when the blower is in the stock location right here, puts more pressure on these front four cylinders. When we move it back to this location, it helps even some of that pressure up. So we have to build offset plates. This one is built by SSI, TJ&M. Awesome plate, lightened up, nice and thick. That I know where this offset plate is going to go. I'm going to put it in place. Offset plate so that the blower can come down on top and there not be any type of hindrance. What happens is we're taking our stud, instead of going in the manifold, we're going into the plate. So it's important for this plate to be about 5/8 of an inch thick. TJ&M do that. One of the more important things that you have to be aware of whenever you're putting these on and you're screwing your studs in is that these studs do not bottom out against the manifold. Because what will happen, and what I've seen happen, is guys will screw these in and you'll have them all in, the plate's bolted down, and if your plate's not thick enough, when they go to tighten the bolt up, which we torque at 20 pounds, it's going to push this stud down and lift this plate up a little bit on some of the thinner plates. So a good thick plate is important, so number one, that don't happen. Now what we will do is I will go through and I will shorten these. I'll shorten these studs to where when they're tight, they're not hitting my manifold. That way I know there can't be any type of pressure being applied upward on this plate. So just always keep that in mind. Moving this blower back, you got your air coming in, changing directions, it's being brought in from your sides, come to the middle and then being forced back forward. So our air is coming in and changing directions multiple times. The offset plate allows us to shove that back and even up these cylinders. Now again, these studs, I'm going to shorten them on the lathe to where they're 5/8 of an inch, a little less than 5/8, so say around 600 thousandths long. So that when they get screwed in and they're bottomed out against the manifold right now is what's keeping this one from going on down. So I need to take another whatever 100 thousandths off of it. Yes, they have an Allen head that you can put on there and hold that while you tighten up your bolt. Well, that's all fine and dandy. You can do that. But when you put your torque wrench on there, you can't have your Allen head down in there. And it's not that you have to torque them out at 20 pounds. That's not the point. The point is it's just a number that these are aluminum that is used. I've torqued them at 20 pounds. I've torqued them by hand, which would actually not be torqued to a spec. But 20 pounds is what these get torqued to. Now I want you all to watch this stud. Pick this up right here. Watch this. Just a little bit. Too long. Okay, now the plate's bolted down. Studs are shortened. A little bit of anti-seize. Now why I'm putting anti-seize on these? It doesn't need it because these things aren't coming up in and out all the time. But the reason I put a little bit of anti-seize on these and screw these in is for simply the harmonics of the blower working back and forth chatters the aluminum against the aluminum and will make them eventually, when you go to take them out, galled. So we just put a little bit of anti-seize on these studs. It just has to be enough to it doesn't have to be a lot. I mean, people, a little bit of anti-seize goes a long, long way. Just touch it on there, just enough to get a little bit of anti-seize. And then that'll be another thing too that you can do, is put a little anti-seize on this case, or I will put anti-seize where the manifold meets the head. That way it takes down what harmonics the motor has that helps that galling process that we see happen so much. Now that I've showed you how I had to go through and shorten these all again, because when I would screw this one in before it would bottom out against the threads, it was picking this manifold, this adapter plate up. And then when it does that, it warps this whole manifold piece. So when the blower goes on, then you're not sealing. So back to the whole anti-seize, I will lightly, doesn't have to be a lot, put anti-seize back here. Just enough that as the harmonics of the blower doesn't gall this plate up. You can put out these sides a little bit. Out here on the base, just enough that we keep our galling down, because what happens when it starts to gall, it starts to create high spots and can keep the blower surface higher than the O-ring can seal. And then put a little bit on your threads. So when you're tightening your bolts up to put the blower down, you don't have any galling. Now these nuts here have the washer built into them. I'm not tightening it up by no means, I'm just running them all down. I'm starting off at 15. I'm doing the sequence that's always worked for me. Okay, so that was it for Motor Monday. The offset plate installation process can be done many different ways, but that's the way we do them. And if it's able to help somebody out there, share this with one of your buddies. Don't forget to flow it so you know it. And more importantly, stud length down here. Make sure that on the thinner offset plates, and even as you saw on the thicker offset plate, you could see where it was actually warping it, where that stud, I needed to still take another 50 thousandths off of it, it was making it move. So review the video. If you've got any questions, send me a private message or give us a call, 859-661-5002. And if I can help you, I'll sure try my best. You guys have a great day. Stay warm.